Okay, I'll try to start again. Thank you for coming and welcome to the State House. We're here today holding this press conference on behalf of the driving bill that was sponsored by myself in the Senate with Senator Nesselbush, Senator Picciotto, and several other of my colleagues. On the House side, Representative Anastasia Williams is sponsoring the bill on the House side and might stop up because right about now she's downstairs preparing for the Black and Latino caucus. Oh, here she is. Sorry. And I know I told her, knowing that she's going to be busy with what the affair that she's planning, that I'll give her a first chance to talk on the bill. So before I get into any specifics, Representative Williams.
Thank you, everyone. And my message to each and every one is to take back each one, reach one. If you cannot fly, then you run. If you cannot run, you walk. If you cannot walk, then you crawl. Whatever you do, you better keep this momentum moving forward. We as a team, with my colleagues, Senator Chacon and Senator Picciotto, Senator Nesselbush, will, along with you all, encounter many defeats with this piece of legislation, but we shall not be defeated. Understand that. Yes. The work is going to be hard. But I'm telling you now, if you all are bold enough, committed enough, willing enough, we can get this done. Yeah! Today signifies another day with the efforts of all of us. We must send a message that we are not going to stop till this legislation passes once and for all. Thank you. Yeah!
Thank you, Representative Williams. Well, we are here to have Rhode Island join 11 other states and the District of Columbia in passing legislation to have all drivers all residents in their states eligible to drive of a certain age to join in and have safe roads within our state of Rhode Island. The most recent state that passed legislation similar to this is Connecticut, which was passed last year. Our bill is modeled somewhat after Connecticut's bill, but there are more safeguards in our bill that I have met with the Latino community, and they are in favor of the bill to show their support of some of the safeguards that we have put into it. A friend of mine called me early this morning and said, "You got to listen to the talk shows because they're ripping you apart." Well, I put it on for a few minutes, and obviously some of the concerns that were mentioned by the talk show host, I realized he has never seen the bill. One of the concerns was that if you're not working, or if you want to come to Rhode Island, you're going to get a driving license privilege. The bill is very specific with these safeguards. One, you have to be a resident of the state for 2 years. Two, you have to show documentation that you have paid taxes in the state of Rhode Island for the previous 2 years. Similar to the bill in Connecticut, if you are a felon, you will not be entitled to get a driving license privilege. And that's something that was a sticking point last year, but the community has come forward and has agreed to it. One of the other safeguards that we have is that the concern was, although it's not used for ID purposes, everybody asks, "Show me your license." Well, the license in accordance with the Real ID Act is going to have specific wording on it that it is not to be used for identification purposes. In addition to that, most people here, unless they have a CDL license, have a block where your information about your height, age, and weight is in blue. Mine happens to be a CDL license, which is in green. This license will have a specific color unique to the license itself. There are also safeguards to prevent discrimination, which is in the bill. So at this point, I am going to invite my two colleagues who co-sponsored the bill with me to come up and say a few words. At the conclusion of the press conference, there are several organizations here that are in support of the bill, and if the press or any media would like to talk to them, they'll be available. And I'll wrap it up in a few minutes.
Thank you, Senator Chacon, and good afternoon, everyone. Si se puede. Yes, we can, right? Yes, we can. Good afternoon. I will be brief in my remarks as we gather here today. Today, we bring attention to the bill this year that seeks to give many Rhode Islanders the authorization to drive once again. Fellow Rhode Islanders who are living here, working here, contributing to our economy, supporting our industry, supporting families, paying taxes, enriching our state, but for years have been denied that privilege and that authorization to drive on our roads, simply because of their immigration status. On this day, we bring attention to this bill. We must make the compelling arguments to our fellow senators and representatives. I have spoken with Governor Regina Raimundo, and she's supportive. She's ready to sign a bill. We must continue to build a growing support in this effort. I want to thank Senator Chacon for his leadership, my colleagues in the Senate and in the House, Representative Williams, Senator Nesselbush, and many who signed the bill. We have made progress that we can stand here in this capital city, that we have a governor that's ready to sign a bill, that we have senators that are willing to listen, representatives that are willing to listen and open their heart, that when we see that for many years, for over a decade, we have families that have grown up here, that are families that are providing benefits to our state, that they deserve that opportunity until this comprehensive immigration is taken care of. And so over the upcoming weeks, we plan to meet with a broad group of leaders. This does not just affect the Latino community. This affects a very diverse community. And so we're going to be meeting with churches and church leaders, unions who are supportive. I know George Need is supportive, and many other unions. We need to step up as Rhode Islanders to protect the families, to know that this is a safety, is an economic issue for the entire state, and especially for the families that we advocate for. Leaders like yourself, leaders like us and you that are here, we need to expand to ensure that people have the right information. And so, with the help of all of you, with the help of all of our fellow Rhode Islanders, we need to continue to build this partnership to ensure that the message gets through. But it gets through to our legislators here, in the House and in the Senate. The work in the community needs to be done. But we need to inform the people out throughout Rhode Island. So today is a great start. We are going to continue to have these type of press conferences. We're going to continue to ask people, yes or no, why not? What is it that that we can provide you with information? The reality is the families are here, undocumented individuals are here, have been contributing, and so therefore, this is the time that we can get this done. With your help, we can do it. So thank you, Senator Chacon, for your leadership, and Representative Williams, we can do this. Thank you.
Good job. Buenas tardes. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for coming to the State House today. And I want to begin by thanking my good friend, Senator Frank Chacon and Senator Juan Pichardo. Yo soy la abogada y la senadora Dana, and I'm here in solidarity with them and with all of you. And I want you to know, I'm no stranger to difficult legislation. This is difficult legislation, but just like we've got other legislation through, we are going to get driving privileges for the undocumented. I'm so glad to be here in the presence of so many community leaders like my friends Juan Garcia, Laura Perez, Heidi Maldonado, y tantos más. Thank you for coming out each and every year to say, and I'm going to say this now, and we're going to say it at the end of our speech. Thanks for coming out all the time, because el pueblo unido jamás será vencido. El pueblo unido jamás será vencido. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I also want to acknowledge the presence of our loyal opposition. Obviously, they are here. And ladies and gentlemen, they are my friends, they are your friends. In our ability to be in this room, in this great State House, and to tolerate difference of opinion, in that, ladies and gentlemen, lies our greatness and lies the promise of America for all people who live here. Thank you for being here. We're going to work together and work out our differences. Señoras y señores, ladies and gentlemen, this is a good bill for many reasons. I have personally seen the struggle of so many Latin and, as Senator Pichardo pointed out, other immigrant families who want nothing more than to be hardworking, good parents, go to their jobs. And how do we ask them to do that in the frigid, cold Northeast, here in Rhode Island, where unfortunately we don't have a good public transportation system? How do those real people, those real human beings, do that without driving privileges? So to me, this is a good bill for safety reasons, so that all drivers will have a license, they will be insured, and they can be accountable. I also think this is a good bill for the economy, because it's going to allow people to continue to work. But ladies and gentlemen, the biggest reason why I support this bill and why I join my friend Senator Chacon, Senator Pichardo, and those colleagues on the House side is because this bill is about a very basic American ideal, and that is the ideal of respect for human dignity. For me, providing driving privileges to the undocumented is about basic human respect and basic human dignity. And we have the governor's support, we know that. We are going to work tirelessly, us senators with our colleagues, the House sponsors and their colleagues, the governor, and with all of you, el pueblo, because together, somehow, we are going to keep this momentum going, and we're going to get this bill passed. Why? Because el pueblo unido jamás será vencido. El pueblo unido jamás será vencido.
Nicole, Pichardo y Dana, el pueblo está contigo. Nicole, Pichardo y Dana, el pueblo está contigo.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for coming. If there are any questions, we'll allow either myself, Senator Pichardo, Senator Nestle Bush will take the questions now.